semi-manufacturing type offices. The front light industry. The front is the office, and the back is like a garage. We were praying in one of those. About 50 people were involved with praying at that time, and we were looking for a place to set up a place for Friday prayers and so on. Mm-hmm. And we rented from the city of Sunnyvale. We rented a school on Duane. The area where Fry's is right now in Sunnyvale.
Fry's Electronic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Behind Fry's is AMD,
Mm-hmm.
one of the big chip manufacturers. Oh, yeah. On the other side of AMD, towards 101, there was a school there that was not in use, and the city rented the place out for us for a while. We used that for a while. Then we purchased a building on Catherine Street in Santa Clara, 1755 Catherine Street. It was a church. It was a lot of Day Saints church, and we bought that place. That place we bought in 80, I think it was in 85 that we bought, 85 or 84, something like that. And basically we passed the Constitution founding MCA at that time.
Okay.
We were in that building then.
How did the mosque get its name?
Muslim Community Association?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the United States, in the 60s and early to mid 60s, a lot of the U.S. had an open door policy for a lot of people immigrating here,
Mm-hmm.
and green cards were relatively easy to come by,
Mm-hmm.
and people were coming in for education. So a lot of people coming in, like in my case, came into college basically, like came in to get to college, and that door was wide open. So a lot of the Muslims that were in the different universities, they put something together called Muslim Student Association. You may have heard of it. It's still alive till today. It's all over many different universities have it.
Yeah. We actually just had a lecture and they told us about that.
Yes. So once many people finished their education, so basically Muslim Student Association was a place for a religious cultural type thing, so that people can kind of get together with other Muslims to do their prayers and so on. But when it came to them getting out of the university, graduating, and joining the workforce, and all of a sudden having families, establishing families, and so on.
Yeah.
And they're not leaving the U.S.
Yeah.
Basically, they stayed here. Got citizenship and stayed here. So they started establishing something called the Muslim Community Association, which was supposed to be a sister organization to the Student Association to kind of grow as a community.
Okay.
And then they created something called ISNA, which is Islamic Society of North America, which was more like an umbrella organization to encompass both the Student Association and the Community Association. So in the early 80s, the Community Association was supposed to be spread across the U.S. Basically, different areas would have a Muslim Community Association of the Bay Area. That's why we call ourselves Muslim Community Association because of the Bay Area.
Okay.
Because the idea was that it would be in Houston and in Los Angeles and New York, wherever, right? But for some reason, as an organization, that didn't last. So our first constitution was really based on that, based on what ISNA had for the Community Association constitutions. And we started that in, as I said, I think it was 85, I think, that we passed that constitution and officially became an organization as MCA.
All right.
And then from there, we basically grew a little bit until the mosque in Catherine just could not hold us anymore. It was a church, and we had to remodel it a little bit to make it look like a mosque.
Okay.
On the inside, anyway.
Yeah.
The outside, it was a bit historical, so we were forced to stay with the shapes on the outside a lot. And then we outgrew the place. We were praying outside in the parking lot because we didn't have enough space for a number of people praying.
Okay.
And we were disturbing the neighbors greatly.
Yeah.
Just parking and everything.
Do you guys have a certain demographic you tailor to now? Or I know, like you said in the beginning, it was mostly Muslim students that were graduating. Now, do you guys accept like anything like?
Our demographic from the very beginning was very, very, very diverse.
Right. Okay.
Really, really diverse.
Okay.
We have if you would walk in here on Friday,
Uh-huh.
during the Friday prayers, you will see people from all colors and shapes and sizes and nationalities, and it's wide open. We bought this building here in '93, that we were in here. This used to be a Hewlett Packard sales office.
Oh.
So we bought this building then, and it took a while for us to transform it to what it is right now. This past year, this year actually, we just purchased the next door building.
Oh wow, you guys are really expanding it.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
building is not enough for us right
Yeah.
now. We're always having a problem with the number of rooms that we have, because we have a school here.
Okay.
400 students, K to 8.
What kind of school is it?
Just a private school, so basically it covers all the academics, and then we also teach Arabic, and we also teach Islamic studies, basically. So the students, the parents bring their kids here for the students to learn how to learn, just to learn to live as Muslims in while doing their academics and doing that correctly. So it actually, the fact that the school is associated with the mosque is really very good, because the kids break for prayer during the school day. Pray. They would break for that, and they would also join Salam Alaikum. And they would also join, during the fasting month, they would be fasting when we celebrate the different festivals. They would take a break at that time. So they would associate, excuse me, Nasser.
Sure, sure.
Nasser.
So you said there's about 400 students. How many
In the school.
in the school? Yeah. How many would you say in the community overall?
Well, for the Friday prayers, easily we have about 3,000 people.
Wow.
For the special occasions during the year, a couple times during the year, we probably get 5,000 to 6,000.
5,000 to 6,000.
So
Wow.
every Friday, 3,000 people gather.
Yeah, we break it up into about three different services, but it's about 3,000.
Is this mosque associated or affiliated with any other mosque around here?
Not legally or directly, but,
Okay.
but in terms of working with other communities, we do work with them very, 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 very closely.
Okay. Is there any like specific mosque name you could give us, or is it?
Oh, other mosques?
Yeah, other mosques.
There's this South Bay Islamic Association. There is the one in Fremont, which is called the East Bay Islamic Society. We do, on many different occasions, we work with both of them. I mean, we exchange people in terms of sometimes lecturers who come from different ones, we go to them and so on. So we have that. Also, we have the Saratoga, I don't remember the exact name of the organization.
Okay.
And there's also one called BBMCC, which is in Blossom Hill,
Blossom.
on Blossom Valley,
Okay.
around Santa Teresa area.
Centuries.
Yeah. So the one in Saratoga and the one in Blossom Valley, both of them are members from here, actually, because they live close to that area, and they just needed a place to pray 5 times a day, so they put something closer to where they live.
Okay.
They generally come here for Fridays, but because most people work around here, and this is a very lots of work.
Right.
People come usually pray.
Okay. In regards to press articles, has this mosque been noticed for anything, or been in a published article in a newspaper for any reason?
Well, we've had our share of reporters and media come through here. Initially, when we bought the building, next door neighbors to us, LSI Logic, used to have a building on the side there, and they sued to prevent us from moving here.
Oh wow.
And so that, of course, took about 3 years of court, back and forth. So newspapers were here all the time. Every once in a while, when there was something controversial decision was made, it would come into the picture. 9/11 was very big here, lots of newspapers, lots of people coming through to us. We held press conferences, we held lots of open invitations to the community to come in and see what we're doing and how we're doing things and explain what SNAP is about and so on. And as a result of that, actually, a lot of people became first Muslims and became Muslim because of 9/11.
Okay. Huh.
It opened up enough curiosity for many people
Yeah.
that they actually sought us out. Some were seeking us out just to understand,
Yeah.
and others, in the process of understanding, they decided, hey, this is exactly what I want. And many others just were kind of knew about Islam, but they were sure about it, and accepted Islam. Others were Muslim, but been practicing for a long time, so they decided to come back in and start practicing a bit more.
Okay.
In fact, this is what I'm doing here, is I have a class, what we call the Muslims class.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they come to me here for the class and learning about how to practice what we do.
So this, I know the one you guys were in, it was like a Hewlett Packard, and the one before that was a church. But is this one just built up from the ground up?
No, this was the Hewlett Packard.
Oh, this one's a Hewlett Packard. Oh, I'm sorry.
The other one was a church, and it still looks a little bit like a church.
Okay.
It's not a steeple, but it's the same kind of design. I mean, you pass by, you'll see immediately. But it was a very small church. I mean, I think the number of attendants there must not have been more than 200 or something like that, maybe less than that.
Is there another mosque around here?
Sorry?
Is there another mosque around here?
Yeah, there is, on Jones Street, on 3rd and Jones, is the South Bay Islamic Association. They just bought a piece of land close by here. I don't know exactly where they are, but they just bought something here. Milpitas has a mosque also. There's one there. The one on Blossom Hill, there's one, I told you, the one in Blossom Valley, Saratoga. They're all over the place. Mosques are all over the place. There's one, the Bosnian community, when the issues of Bosnia in the 90s were happening. Remember when that whole business with the ethnic cleansing that was happening there? A lot of Bosnians came to this community, and we took in a lot of refugees from here.
Ooh, okay.
Many of them were okay, they got going. Others kind of left the area, went back to Bosnia, went to New York, wherever they went to. But what the group that's left here now, they've opened up another mosque. I think it's on Stevens Street someplace. It's a small mosque, but it's just a place just because they need some place for cultural issues. I mean, they still pray here, but they also have a daily prayer there so that they can accommodate some cultural issues that they have.
Do you guys participate in like feeding the homeless, or maybe like voting poll sites, anything of that nature?
Yeah, so we for politics, we generally have the candidates come visit us here.
Okay.
We usually have a candidates forum of some sort. The number of people that actually attend is a big draw for candidates, especially local elections. They really like coming over here to meet us.
Okay.
In terms of other activities in the community as a whole, as participating in the city as a whole, or any place around us, we have a lot of sub-organizations here that work through the membership here, and they work with a lot of other charities. We have people here who attend regularly the Harvest Food Bank activities. Some go to local soup kitchens and food banks to help package and feed people. We've had people participate in cleaning up the highway. We've had people. We've had here just inviting other organizations for save electricity, for environments and things like this. We usually open up the parking lot and make it like a big festival type area, so people from booths, people come in and ask and find out and so on. done all of that. I mean, and many of the members of the organization anyway put themselves out there to participate in this.
Wow, you guys do a lot.
We try to. I mean, it's so diverse and
Yeah.
from many different age groups and different things. So it's a lot of things happening, and it's not. We don't try to pigeonhole ourselves only in one area. I mean, whatever the membership wants to do, whoever wants to do things. My son, for instance, he grew up in this community. He's on the board now of the mosque here. So he has a bunch of his friends. They do something called SOS. What do you call it? Sons of Service. Sons of Service. And they basically volunteer once a month or once every 6 weeks to do some charitable action. So it could be that somebody needs to move, so they would help move them. It could be that many times they would spend the night preparing sandwiches and then drive out to San Francisco, and every little homeless guy or woman, they give them sandwiches. Some other time in East Palo Alto, they help to paint a house, paint one of the houses there. So whatever comes to mind. So everybody has a different feeling of how they like to contribute to charity.
Right. Yeah.
So, we just encourage.
Okay.
However the charity can, we just encourage.
Do you offer services in like legal marriage or death services and?
Yeah, we have two sets of services. Marriage, definitely we offer marriage services. So what we do is we ask the bride and groom to go to City Hall, get the license there.
Okay.
And they come here, we get the license witnessed here, we perform the marriage, we give them a certificate of the marriage done from here. People who become Muslim, who don't look like Muslims, when they need to travel to Muslim countries, we give them certificates that they are Muslims, so that people would know.
Yeah. How do you look Muslim?
You don't.
Yeah.
It's just that in certain areas of the world, if your name doesn't sound Arab or doesn't sound a Muslim name, they need to ask.
I see.
Show what is the proof that you're Muslim.
Right.
Especially if they come to marry over there, or if they need to go to Mecca to do pilgrimage, then they need to show that they're Muslim, because you can't go in except unless you're Muslim.
Okay. So that's that.
Into Mecca anyway.
Okay.
We also have two things here. We have a legal clinic and we have a medical clinic. So the legal clinic we provide, I think it's once a week or once every other week. Basically, we provide a few attorneys come just give up some of their time, just provide guidance and ideas of either marrying somebody from another country, fiancé visas and things of this nature, or if they have a legal issue, immigration issue, they have any of these kind of things, we kind of try to help with and deal with.
Okay.
We also have, as I said, we have a medical clinic that was kind of on and off. Basically, originally it was supposed to be staffed by volunteer doctors to provide service for the community, for people who can't afford it, immunizations and checkups for the basic initial kind of screening stuff. So that kind of is on and off. We have some things in here for people to actually do that, but it's on and off. But we do provide, I think, help with we're starting the process right now of doing the help with the Obamacare.
Okay. Yeah.
To be able to bring people in here, to be able to service them and get them going, give them their choices in terms of
That's good.
medical insurance. That is something that we're partnering actually with a group in Los Angeles.
Oh,
We've
okay.
been very successful with that. They understand the process very well. So we're bringing them here to actually start that process. This is very recent. The whole medical clinic has been here since we established this place here. We wanted to kind of really open up this idea of the medical clinic.
Okay.
We do have also a gentleman, an expert, a psychiatric expert, that comes. He lives in Arizona actually. He flies here twice a month on weekends and provides services to the community here. counseling, all sorts of things.
Okay. Regards to like funerals, what kind of ceremony is that, or what?
So we have, so in the other mosque, we have like what would be a funeral parlor. We don't do the same things as normal, we don't really display the body or anything of that nature.
Okay.
So usually the body would come, the person passes away would come to us, so
Mhm.
we get to know about them. We take them to the other mosque, we have a special room in the back, that we prepare the body, basically wash the body, clean him or her up and shroud them.
Okay.
And then we would then we would do a funeral service on them, which would be either prayer, depends on where their family wants. We either pray for them over there,
Okay.
or we bring them over here and pray for them here.
All right.
And then we have the place, the location where we bury is usually Livermore. There's a big Muslim cemetery there.
Livermore, okay. Have you published any material, the mosque? And if so, maybe do you know like the title or?
We have a website,
Okay.
ncaabayarea.org,
Okay.
which is very active website. We usually post the Friday sermons on there, video.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of videos on there.
Yeah.
I've seen, yeah.
We have also we also have a newsletter that's published weekly, but the newsletter, until a year and a half ago, because it became basically an advertising rag. It wasn't really worth very much at all.
Okay.
They're finally bringing it back now in terms of the newsletter, so at least the first couple pages have articles in them of interest, but it's published every Friday, and it's available on the website too in PDF, but we print it out here also.
Okay, website.
But there isn't anything that goes to the wider public.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's actually a good idea. It's something that we need to engage in.
Let's see. Has the mosque been involved in any important legal cases? Or was it just the one that you told us about, the building?
So initially for us the legal case was the LSI, the LSI Logic against us. They didn't want us in, it was LSI Logic, Sobrado, and who else? There was another company also, Analog, something or other. So Analog is still close by. LSI Logic moved out of here a long time ago. The building was sold. Sobrado was also the developer in the area, one of the biggest developers in Santa Clara. He was also against us. So there was about 3 organizations. They sued us and sued the city, and that was the big legal thing.
Do you know the reason why?
They because we told them we're bringing a school in here. They said this is a light industrial area. We don't want to have kids in here. We don't want the danger of having kids in here, because this was a chip manufacturing area. So they said we have very lethal chemicals here. We don't want them around the kids. And so most of our community was involved worked in companies doing exactly that, chip manufacturing. So they knew exactly what it was, and they said, we know the kind of safeties that are in these companies. We understand them very well. And then we volunteered here to put a shelter in place with detectors on the roof. If there's any chemical leakage at all, that we would pull the kids in and we shelter in place until the danger passed. So we went through a lot of things, environmental impact statements, all that kind of stuff. But they were very adamant that they didn't want to stay here all for that reason. But anyway, we won out because we took it to court.
Yeah. What's LSI stand for? Do you know?
That's one of the chip manufacturers here.
Okay. Just chip manufacturing.
They're Milpitas also. They're big campus in Milpitas.
Okay.
This was one of their research facilities.
That's pretty much all the questions. just on time, because I know you have your meeting at 11. I'm sorry, can I have your name again? I just want to spell it correctly.
Yeah, Tarek Mourad, T-A-R-E-K. Last name is Mourad, M-O-U-R-A-D.
Yeah. Would you mind if we got a picture with it?
No, sure.
No? Okay. So, like,
Black Muslims, right?
right, yeah.
That was the big thing that you knew about the time, and of course, it was the death of Malcolm X at the time,
Yeah.
and so on. And that started drawing a lot of attention, but for the Muslims themselves, we were so undercover. I mean, we knew we were Muslims, but we hardly had place to pray Fridays. I remember when I was growing up then, my dad used to take us to New York City twice a year to do the big festival prayers. Outside of that, we didn't see the mosque. There was no mosque. There was nothing. So the only time you would pray at home, and you just learn. Your parents would teach you, and you just follow what your parents taught, and that was it.
Wow.
And it was very, very just not there. It just wasn't there. And I think once I went to university and started seeing some other Muslims there, it was a little bit of interaction, but still nothing really powerful. And that's the reason why the MSA was there, is because trying to help people kind of maintain their belief and maintain their religion. And it wasn't until really the early '80s where things started beginning to move. You felt things started to move. In the early '80s and mid '80s, I used to remember there used to be at Christmas time, there used to be a big conference, usually in the Midwest, Chicago or Dallas or someplace in that area, usually in the colder areas. And usually people would travel to it and get stranded because of the snow, the planes can't take off, because whatever, right?
Yeah.
But we usually attend, and usually like 4,000 people will be there, right? Take an auditorium in the convention center, and they invite scholars from all over the place to teach about Islam and keep people alive with Islam and so on. And now, and mosques were something few and far between. And you'd heard about the big mosques in LA, one or two mosques here or there or something. There's just a couple of historical mosques in San Francisco. There's one in Sacramento, which is really, so anyway, a very old one. So anyway, this was something going on like this for a while, but now, if you travel across the U.S., you would hardly find a place where you wouldn't find a mosque. They're just all over the place. They're not all big mosques, but there's all over the place.
There's one that opened up in Modesto. It's like it's really big and nice, like mosque. It's like, well.
They're all over. They're all over. I mean, people find they either rent small houses or buy small houses to pray in, and once they start growing enough and they have enough power and momentum behind them, then they will just build it.
Do people like fund for the building or?
Yeah. This is a completely self-funded organization. It's members. We have a regular sets of drives, financial drives, and everything. A lot of people that are here, they have this monthly deduction that goes out of their account.
Okay.
Do you guys get any support from bigger Islam organization in the Middle East or?
No. We do all our own funding. We don't. We rely on ourselves. We don't rely on anything coming from outside. The only times that happened was very early on when we were trying to purchase buildings. When we were we would basically look for not for organizations, but for individuals who were generous individuals, basically. So it would be somebody that knows somebody's friend or something in the Middle East, somebody who has money, you can go ask him, and they would contribute maybe, I don't know, 50,000 or something like that. But we don't do anything like that at all. We don't get any funding. We never got any funding with strings. Zero, ever, right? We wouldn't accept anything with strings, okay? If you want to do a charity, this is a mosque, you want to contribute, fine, contribute. But if you're going to contribute and say you have to do this and this, and say we don't want it, keep it with you. Okay, and then now we basically fund ourselves.
Oh, I missed a question. Has the mosque or like the community experienced any like hate crimes?
On occasion,
Okay.
but not. Yeah, 9/11 definitely was very difficult for the women here because of course most Muslim women wear a scarf of some sort, so they stood out very much. We had a lot of really nasty name calling outside here. So 9/11 was something like that, or when, what's his name, Timothy McVeigh, in Oklahoma, the bombing in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
When that happened also, we had, even though it wasn't a Muslim,
Right.
it was still a little bit of a backlash here. And every once in a while, depends on what's going on in the world, every once in a while, we get something here and there.
Yeah, how do you guys like deal with just thieves like that?
Well, we've taught our community basically not to engage, just to avoid engagement with them. And if they really fear for their lives, they just call the police and just deal with it directly. But usually, if the political situation is uncomfortable, we generally advise people to be inconspicuous, just not to be in the people's face all the time. So, but I want to tell you something. Our young women now, the ones who've grown up, been brought up in this community and were born in this country, they don't buy that. They're in your face. So somebody gives them a hard time, they'll just give it right back. They won't take it.
That's good.
Interesting.
And so we have a lot of strength out of it.
The woman though.
Yeah, we do. And we have also organizations. We have an organization across the street here called CARE, Council for American Islamic Relations, and they are basically they help us in situations of discrimination lawsuits, especially work discriminations. So some people, I've never had a problem in this valley when I came to work here of taking time to pray during the work day or anything. Nobody would tell me anything. Nobody would stop you or do anything like that, or even comment on it. It was fine. And when I had to take off for our religious holidays, they didn't say anything. But for some women, if they wore their scarves and started working in places like Macy's and Fitch, places like that, they would give them a very hard time. And so we've had a few discrimination lawsuits based on that, and we've won. We've won every single one of them. Police also, after 9/11, police used to come here to ask about sensitivity training, how to handle Muslims. If you're coming into a Muslim household, what do you do? How do you behave? How do you handle the woman? How do you handle the man? So it's not offensive to anybody, things like that. So there's a lot of things. The whole thing with the TSA, patting down everybody's body and so on. Women, the Muslim women specifically said, "Don't touch us." Okay. Yeah, we wear this. If you really need to see what we have, pat us down. Then we do it with a woman. We're not going to do it with a man. And we're not going to do it in public. So immediately they start putting up these booths for people to happen and so on. So a lot of this kind of backlash, we Muslims really push back hard on things like this. Right.
Do you have an issue with us taking pictures of the mosque? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah, it was really helpful.
No problem at all.
Okay, we'll see.
Anytime at all.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Okay. Good to have you.
Thank you. They want like a street view from the building.
So down this side, if you look on the picture here. So this is the building. So we're down here, where it says game room, it's not a game room, it's the lounge here. There's a boardroom, which is this room here. There's the two prayer halls, are the big ones there. And this new main lobby, this is a new addition to the building. We just opened it a couple of years ago. Then this is a banquet hall up there. There's another banquet hall. The school is the yellow. All the area, the cafeteria is up to the top there. So you're welcome to wander around.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay. If you want to look at the prayer halls, just please take your shoes off before you go.
Sure,
Okay?
absolutely.
All right.
But other than that, just take a look.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's show the street.
Oh yeah, let's take a picture of the street.